You already know this is PUNSH Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's having a good morning. Recently, PBC on Fox posted their rankings, their top 5 welterweights in the sport of boxing. They had Errol Spence number 1, Bud Crawford number 2, or at least they acknowledged Bud Crawford this time. Pacquiao number 3, Keith Thurman number 4, Shawn Porter number 5. Errol Spence took it upon himself to actually downplay the rankings, questioning why is Keith Thurman even in the rankings in the top 5. Ooh. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you already know, man, that Errol Spence always have this, this little hate on Keith one-time Thurman. Started off real early when Keith Thurman was calling out Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Floyd Mayweather insisted that if Keith Thurman want to fight me, go fight one of these young guys, Errol Spence. And that's when the whole Errol Spence, Keith Thurman started, the hate for Keith Thurman really started, because of course Floyd Mayweather fans are, you could say Errol Spence adopted couple of Floyd Mayweather fans, and you saw the hate of Keith Thurman rising. And it's kind of, surprising that a top guy like Errol Spence is trying to downplay Keith Thurman positioning. And I don't understand why, because if he's questioning why Keith Thurman is in the top 5, he didn't question Shawn Porter, who a lot of people felt that actually Shawn Porter won the fight, or at least a draw. He didn't question Shawn Porter. He didn't question Bud Crawford either, the guy that, seems like they can't get a fight done. And if I'm looking at, if I take a good look at the rankings and just trying to see where Errol Spence is coming from, Errol Spence beat Shawn Porter. Keith Thurman beat Shawn Porter. Errol Spence beat Kell Brook when Kell Brook was one of the top dudes in the welterweight division. Keith Thurman beat Daniel Garcia, unified first than Errol Spence. He lost to Manny Pacquiao, a legend. And not only a legend, the GOAT. It's like losing to Michael Jordan. A seasoned Michael Jordan. Hey, you're losing to the GOAT. Does the stock drop? Does that mean he's out of the top 5 because he lost to Manny Pacquiao? I don't know what Errol Spence is coming out with the why is it Keith Thurman in the top 5? He can't say, what is he gonna say, that Keith Thurman was ducking him? Because of course Errol Spence is the one that started this whole thing of Keith Thurman ducking. Yet isn't Errol Spence doing maybe the same thing that Keith Thurman was doing to him, and Errol Spence is doing to Bud Crawford? I mean, nobody can argue that. Even Errol Spence can't argue that. Because the same way that Errol Spence is looking at business, Keith Thurman was looking at business. Keith Thurman was looking at, hey, Daniel Swift Garcia got more people, he could pack a house better than Errol Spence, and I could unify with him. Is that a duck? Nah. Shawn Porter, at the time, more people than Errol Spence in 2016. For Keith Thurman for Manny Pacquiao, who wouldn't take that fight? So I know that Errol Spence can't be saying that he was being ducked. And if he was being ducked, if he considers that and define that as duck, then what is he doing with Bud Crawford? Now, who did Bud Crawford beat in the welterweight division? And I'm saying that all these guys that was mentioned are legitly top 5. If you want to put him whatever you want to put him, that's not even the concept of this video. Because of course we could talk about who's number 1, who's number 2, who's number 3. I could do that. I could do that easily. I just want to know, why does Errol Spence feel the need to say, why is Keith Thurman is even in here, meaning in the top 5? Keith Thurman has done a lot in the sport of boxing as a welterweight. He was the top guy at welterweight. And if you think one loss would drop you out of the top 5, my man, you don't even value your own, division. You sure want Keith Thurman to still be on the top 5. You ain't do anything significant that Keith Thurman hasn't done, sir. The crowd, the media has grown into changing the narrative that Errol Spence is that guy. But okay, Keith Thurman lost to Manny Pacquiao. He lost once. Errol Spence is still undefeated. But Errol Spence ain't do nothing that Keith Thurman hasn't done. Nobody other than Manny Pacquiao has done more than Keith Thurman in the welterweight division. I'm not talking about Bud Crawford and his undisputed status in 140 pounds or getting a title in 135 pounds. We're talking about strictly about the welterweight division. Nobody other than Manny Pacquiao has done more than Keith Thurman. I'm not saying that he did more than Errol Spence now that Errol Spence has unified, but Errol Spence hasn't done more than Keith Thurman. Daniel Garcia hasn't done more than Keith Thurman. Sean Porter hasn't done more than Keith Thurman. Ugas hasn't done more than Keith Thurman. Bud Crawford hasn't done more than Keith Thurman. So why would this guy even say, why is this guy even in here? Where is the logic in that? The only logic, you already know, man, Punch Drunk Boxing break things down unlogically. I said unlogically. Unbiasedly, logically, and objectively. Is that only logic thing is that Errol Spence still got this hate towards Keith Thurman. And why? Why does Errol Spence hate Keith Thurman so much? Man, seems like guy never been humbled. Guy hasn't been humbled. Talking trash about Crawford. Talking trash about Keith Thurman. Okay. I think it's time for Keith Thurman to start opening his mouth. And maybe that's what it is. Keith Thurman has been a ghost. It is time for Keith Thurman to come out his little shell or whatever he's been in and just be the Keith Thurman which we all grew and loved. Remember the Keith Thurman, the people's champ? Now, I know Keith Thurman rubbed everybody the wrong way. Think about it. Keith Thurman talked crap about Manny Pacquiao so he could get a fight with Manny Pacquiao. That's a fan base that you don't play with. He rubbed Floyd Mayweather, another fan base, another large fan base, rubbed the wrong way. He rubbed the Cotto when he was talking about he'll beat Cotto. He rubbed them the wrong way. He talked about the Amir Khan when Amir Khan was at his highest. He rubbed them the wrong way. Daniel Garcia fans, he said he'll fight Canelo, his fans. At one point, Keith Thurman was going at everybody. But like I said in one of my videos, you had to bark. You had to bark. So I understand the hate of Keith Thurman. Yet, you can't hate his accomplishments. You can't hate his resume. And if he's not a top 5 welterweight, then what the hell is? Let me know what y'all think about Errol Spence hating comment. Let me know what y'all think. Is it factual? Do you agree with Errol Spence? Is Errol the truth Spence speaking truth? Or he's Errol the lie Spence? You already know this is Punch Drunk Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself. Subscribe to the channel. You already know, man. Like it. Feel free. Comment in the bottom. You already know, man. I chop it up with everybody. I try to do my best and chop it up with y'all. Reply to y'all. You already know this is a channel of hardcore boxing fans. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. All I want to do is come with a nice concrete understanding, have our opinions, be reliable, and so on and so forth. This is Punch Run Boxing. On to the next.